I still don't understand how the fire was burning. That's the detail that wakes me up at night. We had left the house empty, stone cold, dark, no flame, no warmth. But when we opened the front door after midnight church on Christmas Eve, the living room was glowing. Not from moonlight, from fire. The hearth was alive, crackling, warm, as if someone had been waiting for us, and the smell hit next. Roasted meat, fresh bread, melted butter, Christmas dinner, already half eaten. I remember my mother whispering, "Did one of you come home early?" No one answered. Because we all knew the truth. Someone had been inside our house, and they weren't finished. It was December 24th, 1945. Massachusetts was buried in snow so thick it swallowed sound. The war had ended months earlier, and everyone wanted normal again. Church, family, quiet. Our house sat just outside town, old, wooden, narrow halls, the kind that creaked even when no one walked them. Before we left for midnight mass, my father banked the fire and locked every door. I watched him do it. I remember the silence when we stepped outside. No warmth, no light. That's why coming home felt wrong, like stepping into someone else's memory. The dining table was set perfectly. Plates, silverware, glasses, a chair pulled back. Food sat there cooling, as if whoever had been eating expected to return. My father checked the bedrooms. My mother stood frozen in the doorway. I couldn't stop staring at the bite marks, human bite marks. That's when I noticed the clock. It had been rewound, set earlier. Someone wanted more time. Nothing was missing. No jewelry, no cash, no food taken away, only used. That made it worse. A thief wants things. Whoever this was wanted us. The police arrived an hour later. They walked through the house slowly, quietly. One of them stopped beneath the ceiling and tilted his head. Then he asked a question I'll never forget. "Does your attic connect to the walls?" They found the access panel behind a closet, loose, scratched. Inside the walls, there were footprints, handprints, bits of food wrapped in cloth, a nest. Someone had carved out space between the beams. They had been sleeping there, listening to us, breathing when we breathed. Weeks, that's what the police said. They only came out at night, especially when the house was empty. Especially on holidays. Christmas Eve gave them hours, hours to walk freely, to eat our food, to warm themselves by our fire, to pretend this was their home. I remembered sounds, soft ones, scratching, a cough. We had laughed them off, old house noises. But houses don't breathe, people do. There were no fingerprints, no witnesses, no tracks in the snow. The intruder vanished the same way they came, into the walls, into the dark. The police closed the case, but they warned us, lock the attic, seal the walls, leave the lights on. Locals had theories. No one suspects a guest on Christmas. Food out, fire lit, sounds forgiven, perfect camouflage, perfect night. We moved away, but I went back once, years later. The house was empty, cold, and when I stood in the living room, I smelled smoke. To this day, no one knows who it was or where they went, but every Christmas Eve, I wonder if they're still choosing houses, listening, waiting. Because if your fire is warm when you get home, someone may have been keeping it alive for you. He was still singing when he said my name. Not shouted, not called out, whispered, like he was standing right beside me. I froze in my bed, staring at the dark ceiling, every muscle locked tight as his voice slid through the walls of my house. Good King Wenceslas, pause, Elizabeth Margaret Holloway, my full name. The song stopped. The silence after was worse, because that was the moment I knew whoever was outside had already been inside my life. I lived in a village most people wouldn't find on a map. Stone cottages, narrow lanes, one pub, one church. In December of 1978, Christmas lights were few, and silence was thick after midnight. That's when the story started. Whispers in the bakery, murmurs at the pub, a man singing, always alone, always after midnight. Mrs. Carter said he knocked on her door at 12:30. She didn't open it. She said the singing was soft, polite, almost gentle. But just before he left, he leaned close to her door and whispered her full name. First, middle, last. She'd lived alone for 20 years. I didn't believe them. Not really. Until December 23rd, I was half asleep when the knock came. Slow, careful, 3 taps, then the singing. His voice was low, old, not quite right, like it didn't belong to any face I could imagine. The tune drifted through the door, sweet and wrong all at once. I stood at the top of the stairs, holding my breath, and then he stopped singing. I heard his footsteps move closer. Then, soft as a secret meant only for me, Elizabeth Margaret Holloway. I didn't scream, I couldn't, because somehow he sounded pleased. I don't know why I opened the door. Maybe I thought if I saw him, the fear would end. The song was gone, the street was empty. No man, no footprints, no sound. I was about to close the door when I saw them, fresh footprints, not leading away, leading around the side of my house. My bedroom window was fogged from the outside, and beneath it, more footprints. Standing there, watching. Nothing was missing, nothing was moved, but the air felt wrong, like someone else's breath still hung in it. I tried to leave the village, I couldn't. Family, money, fear. Christmas came again, and so did he. Same carol, same voice. This time, no knock, just singing beneath my bedroom window. He stopped singing. Then he whispered something new. Not my name, my childhood nickname, a name no one in the village knew. The police found nothing. No man, no tracks, no motive. They said it was probably a prank. But pranks don't know your life. It's Christmas again. I don't sleep anymore. Because sometimes, when the wind is just right, I hear singing, and it's getting closer to my door. I need to ask you something before I start. Have you ever seen something that made your brain refuse to understand it? Something so wrong that your body reacted before your mind could? Because that's what happened to me in December of 1992, inside a dead shopping mall, when I opened the door to Santa's booth and realized Santa had been dead for 3 days. I was 23 years old, night security, graveyard shift. The mall was already dying back then. Half the stores were empty. After Christmas, it felt like a tomb. No music, no people, just fluorescent lights buzzing like insects trapped in glass. That night, December 29th, I was walking my usual route, food court, arcade, center atrium, and that's when I heard it, a sound. It came from the center of the mall. A soft scraping noise, slow, careful, like someone shifting their weight. I froze. The Santa photo booth was still up, fake snow, plastic reindeer, a red velvet chair. The mall manager hadn't bothered taking it down yet. The sound came again, from inside the booth. I called out, "Hello?" Nothing. I stepped closer. The booth curtains were closed. Then I noticed something strange. The door. It was locked from the outside. Mall protocol said I had to check. I unlocked it. The smell hit me first. Rot, sweet and heavy, like meat left in a hot car. I pulled the curtain back. Santa was sitting in the chair, perfect posture, hands folded on his lap, and his face gray, collapsed, eyes open, dead. I stumbled backward and fell. He hadn't just died. The coroner later said at least 3 days, which meant Santa had been sitting there through Christmas weekend, while families walked past, while children laughed, and no one noticed. The police came fast. They confirmed something worse. No signs of struggle, no forced entry, and no fingerprints. The door had been locked after he was already inside. From the outside, they reviewed the tapes. That's when everything changed. Christmas night, 11:47 p.m. The booth was empty. Then, Santa walked in. 5 minutes later, another Santa appeared. Same suit, same height. He looked around, then followed the first Santa inside. The curtain closed. No one ever came out. The footage showed something impossible. The door closed itself. The latch slid into place. From the outside, the detectives leaned in. They wanted the second Santa's face. The tape glitched. Static screamed across the screen. The image warped. And then, it stopped. The face never revealed. They ruled it unsolved. No suspects, no explanation. The mall removed the booth the next day. They burned the costume. I quit a week later. I tried to forget. But every Christmas I dream about that booth, about the second Santa, standing behind me, waiting his turn. Last year I found something. An old storage tape, unlabeled, from the mall. I played it, different angle, different camera. The second Santa looked straight into the camera, and it was me. Same face, same eyes, same fear, smiling. That's why I'm telling you this now, because tonight I heard a sound in a closed mall, and Santa's booth is back. If you're enjoying these horror stories, hit that like button, comment your favorite story, and subscribe for more spine-chilling horror stories every week. Have you ever smelled something so wrong that it made your stomach turn before your mind could understand why? I have. And the worst part is this. We decorated it. We placed gifts under it. We sang songs beside it, all while a dead man was standing inside our Christmas tree. It was December of 1963, in a quiet German town where nothing ever happened. I lived with my parents and my younger sister in a modest apartment building. Cold stone walls, radiators that knocked through the night, the kind of place where neighbors knew each other's routines. Christmas was supposed to be warm, familiar, safe. That year, my father brought home the biggest tree we had ever owned. It scraped the ceiling. We laughed about it at first. I wish we hadn't. The smell started the same night. It wasn't strong, just wrong, like wet wood, like something old. My mother wrinkled her nose and said it was bad sap. My father said the tree had probably been cut too early. I remember leaning closer. The scent wasn't pine. It was sweet and rotten. We decorated the tree anyway. Glass ornaments, tinsel, thin strings of lights that flickered if you touched them. At one point, my sister dropped an ornament and it shattered near the base. I bent down to clean it. That's when I noticed the trunk. It was hollow. I remember knocking on it. It didn't sound like wood. It sounded empty. As Christmas approached, the smell grew worse. Not stronger, heavier. It clung to the air. When guests came over, they noticed it too. But no one wanted to say what it reminded them of. We opened windows in the winter cold. Nothing helped. On Christmas Eve, the lights flickered. The smell peaked. It made my eyes burn. We sat around the tree, pretending nothing was wrong. I remember staring at the trunk and thinking, why does it smell like something trying to escape? Christmas morning came. Gifts were opened, laughter echoed, but every breath tasted wrong. I didn't eat much that day. Neither did anyone else. The smell followed us everywhere in the apartment. After Christmas, things got worse. The tree began to leak. A dark liquid pooled at the base. My father said it was resin, but resin doesn't smell like decay. It smells like death. On New Year's Day, the smell became unbearable. It hit us like a wall. My mother gagged. My father finally said the words none of us wanted to hear. The tree has to go. When my father grabbed the trunk, it didn't budge. It felt heavier than before, too heavy. As he dragged it toward the door, something shifted inside. I heard it, a soft thud from within the tree. The trunk split open, and everything stopped inside a body, gray, collapsed, twisted. A man, his face pressed against the bark, his eyes gone, standing there with us the entire time. My sister screamed. My mother collapsed. I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe. The smell suddenly made sense. The police came quickly. They sealed the apartment. Neighbors watched in silence. No one spoke. Everyone smelled it now. They said the man had been dead before Christmas, placed inside the hollow tree, then cut, then sold. We had unknowingly decorated his grave. They never identified him. No missing persons matched, no suspects, no arrests. The case went cold, just like the body had. We moved soon after, but the smell followed me, in dreams, in memories, every Christmas. Even now, when I smell pine, my stomach tightens, because I know sometimes what we decorate is already dead. So if your Christmas tree ever smells wrong, don't ignore it, because sometimes the holidays are standing over something that wants to be found. I didn't scream when I opened the gift. I couldn't, because the shoe inside was small, and I recognized it. I had seen it before, in a photograph that was never supposed to exist. And the date written on the back, December 24th, 1989, was the night a child vanished inside my house. My name doesn't matter. What matters is the house. A small, old wooden home just outside Oslo, built in the 1960s. Quiet neighborhood, snow that never fully melts in December. I bought it cheap, too cheap. The real estate agent said the previous owners moved suddenly. She smiled when she said it. That should have been my first warning. I was renovating the house alone. It was December 2001, 2 days before Christmas. The radio played soft holiday music while I ripped up the living room floor. The boards were old, warped, and smelled faintly of mold. That's when my crowbar hit something solid. Not wood, not concrete, something hollow. I pulled up the board. Underneath was a space between the beams, and inside that space was a present. Wrapped, red paper, white ribbon, perfectly intact. No dust, no decay, as if it had been placed there yesterday. I told myself it was a joke, some old prank. My hands shook as I pulled the ribbon. Inside the box was tissue paper. Then I saw it, a single child's shoe, small, blue, scuffed at the toe. Beside it was a photograph, and beneath that, a folded piece of paper. The photograph showed a living room, my living room, same window, same wall paneling. In the photo stood a little boy, blonde hair, about 6 years old. He was smiling. Behind him was the same floor I had just opened. I unfolded the paper, one line, written in neat handwriting, December 24th, 1989. My stomach dropped because I knew that date. Everyone in Norway knew that date. A child named Erik Lund disappeared that night. After a Christmas party, his parents said he went upstairs to get a toy. He never came back down. The house was searched. No signs of struggle, no blood, no body. The case went cold. And now I was standing in that house. I called the police. They arrived fast, too fast. When they saw the gift, their faces changed. One officer whispered, "Still wrapped." They told me the truth. The previous owners were Erik's parents. They moved away months after his disappearance. The father died in 1997. The mother vanished in 1999. No records, no goodbye. The police asked me one question. How did the gift stay clean for 12 years? No one had an answer. That night I stayed. I shouldn't have. The house was quiet, too quiet, no creaks, no wind. At exactly 11:47 p.m. I heard something beneath the floor. Scratching, slow, careful, like fingers dragging across wood. I froze. Then came a soft sound, a child's voice, laughing. The smell came next, old soil, cold earth, and something sweet, like pine, like Christmas. The next morning police returned. They found something new beneath the floor. A handprint, small, pressed up from below. The case reopened. Searches were done. Ground radar, dogs, nothing, no body, just the gift. Still wrapped. I moved out a week later. I couldn't sleep. Every night I heard footsteps, small ones, stopping right beneath my bed. Before I left, I noticed something. The gift tag. It wasn't blank. It said, "To Erik, from Mom." The gift is now in evidence storage, still wrapped, still unopened. Police say it's just an object, but I know better. Because sometimes objects are promises, and sometimes they're reminders. Waiting, under the floor. Thanks for watching Sinister Horror Diaries. Until next time, stay safe, stay scared, stay sinister.